In this video, I'll be teaching you how to fuse character, theme, and plot to create an amazing, cohesive story. I call this output the symbiotic plot, since all of the pillars rely on each other. I highly recommend you watch my previous storytelling theory videos, but I can explain it even if you haven't. There are two main types of symbiotic plots that I've seen in anime. The first is the hero versus opponent type. Let's break it down. The lesson comes from the theme and is the final message you want the audience to take away. The backstory comes from the characters and can be used for the hero and the opponent. It exists to explain the beliefs of the character, which explains the choices of the character. As you can see, beliefs come from both character and theme. In this case, beliefs are perspectives on the lesson. The opponent disagrees with the lesson. The hero agrees with the lesson. Choices comes from character, but it's synonymous with actions from theme. Character and theme development are fusing into one cohesive idea. I have the opponent's beliefs and choices first, because usually the antagonist acts first and is the catalyst that springs the hero into action. Because of the opponent choices, they create a problem for the hero. After developing the hero, they face the problem. The hero and opponent have to fight because of their opposing beliefs. High-level writing makes sure that the conflict is a physical manifestation of the opposing beliefs that extracts the lesson from actions. I'll explain a little more in my examples. In the climax, the hero creates a solution that proves their belief right, the hero result. Here are my examples. The Uryu mini-arc in Bleach does this. The lesson is that Shinigami and Quincy should work together. Uryu's backstory is that the Shinigami let his master die because they didn't recognize the value of Quincy's. This fueled his belief that he needed to prove that Quincy's are better. He makes the choice to summon Hollows to beat Ichigo, a Shinigami, in a competition. The problem is the race, but it escalates when the Hollows become too much. Ichigo's belief is that Uryu's master was trying to teach him that Shinigami and Quincy should work together. He makes the choice to work with Uryu instead of racing him. Ichigo beating the Menos in the climax doesn't prove his belief, but Uryu using his opposite powers to save Ichigo from detonating does. The result is the day being saved. Look at their conflict and problem. It is designed specifically to highlight the competition between the two races, and the climactic action is designed to prove the hero belief right. That is great writing. Here's one more from Bleach, Soul Society. The lesson is that bonds are more important than rules. Byakuya has the backstory of being a noble. This makes him believe that he has to uphold the law. If he doesn't, why should anyone else? He makes the choice to capture and later execute his own sister, proving his dedication to his belief. This is a problem for Ichigo, who is friends with Rukia. Ichigo's belief is the lesson. He makes the choice to go against Soul Society despite the risk of death. Ichigo and Byakuya have the final fight. This doesn't have a great climactic solution, but it does have the hero result. Good examples of a climactic solution would be Ichigo either having friends, his bonds, help him land the final blow, or getting a power boost from his bonds. Next is Sasuke recovery. The lesson is that bonds matter more than power. Sasuke's backstory is Itachi telling him to get strong, Orochimaru giving him some power, and Naruto surpassing him. All of this makes him believe that he needs power, and he can only get it by going to the sound, even at the cost of his bonds. He makes the choice to leave the village. This is a problem for the Leaf, and they chase him. The Leaf's belief is the lesson. Each of their fights shows choices that value bonds. In the climax, Naruto and Sasuke fight. Sasuke's curse mark is the representation of his belief, and he wins with it, creating an opponent result rather than a hero one. This is a slight subversion. This arc is great because it uses unique ideas to represent the conflict between bonds and power. The Sound Village and curse marks represent power, the Leaf Village represents bonds. The problem stems directly from the thematic conflict, and the climax represents the answer to the lesson. Next is Fairy Tail's Battle of Fairy Tail arc. The lesson is that guilds are a home for family and friends. Laxus's backstory is seeing Fairy Tail's reputation decline due to an interview of one of them goofing off. This creates the belief that he needs to improve the guild. This creates the goal of Laxus wanting to take over as guildmaster. This creates his choice to force the guild into a deadly competition. The Battle of Fairy Tail is the problem for Natsu. His backstory with Fairy Tail is all positive, so his belief is the lesson. At the end, many characters fight Laxus. The climactic solution is Gajeel making a sacrifice play to create an opening for Natsu to finish the job. The result is Laxus's defeat. As usual, the main problem of the arc stems from the competing beliefs. The climax was great because Gajeel, who is now family, sacrificed himself for a brother, showing that guilds built on family get victorious results. There are other minor actions that prove the theme, like all the guildmates wearing down Laxus, or Fairy Law failing because Laxus still views his guildmates as allies. Next is the Versus Mahito arc. The lesson is that people have hearts. Junpei's backstory is being bullied and then manipulated by Mahito, who kills his mom. This creates his start belief, people don't have hearts. His choice is to attack his bullies and the high school. This creates a problem for Yuji. Yuji believes the lesson. They fight, but Yuji's actions to accept damage and empathize with Junpei shows him that people have hearts. Junpei then changes his mind. Last is the fight against Higuruma. The lesson is that protecting the weak is valuable. Higuruma's backstory was that he was a criminal lawyer that finally cracked under the broken justice system. This gave him the belief that weakness was ugly and he should value depravity. The addition of the culling game affected his beliefs. The law was powerless, but the culling game had absolute rules, which appealed to him. so he makes the choice to keep the culling game going and not cooperate with Yuji. This is a problem for Yuji, so they fight. Yuji believes in the lesson. During the fight, Yuji takes responsibility for all of the lives Sukuna took in his body. In the climax, this action weighs on Higuruma and he quits the fight. Yuji's nobleness made him give up on depravity and hating the weak. Yuji's action was also uniquely designed for this situation, increasing the quality of the writing. The other type of symbiotic plot is based on the positive change arc. There has to be a target character who experiences the change. The lesson is the same. The backstory influences the starting belief of the target, which is against the lesson. The target makes choices based on that belief and creates a problem. They try solutions, but they fail. Then, there is an event that changes them. They get a new belief and make new choices. Now, their solution passes, usually in a climactic action, achieving a positive result. The first example is Eni's Lobby. The lesson is that you should live for your friends. Robin's backstory is tragic. It makes her believe that she should die for her friends. She makes the choice to go with CP9 peacefully. This is a problem for the Straw Hats, and they go to save her. Luffy's iconic speech to her changes her mind. Her new belief is that she wants to live for her friends. She makes choices that delay the impending doom, and Luffy's ultimately successful. It hits most of the steps. Todoroki vs Deku is next. The lesson is that your powers are your own. Todoroki's backstory is the trauma Endeavor caused. His dark belief is that his powers are his father's. The choice he makes is to not use his fire. The problem he faces is struggle in combat due to limiting himself. He tries to beat Deku and fails. The change event is Deku's speech. His new belief is the lesson. His new choice is to use his fire. The solution and climactic action are his final strike. The result is that he wins the fight. Lastly, let's do the hero killer Stain arc. The lesson is that you should be noble and selfless as a hero. Ida's backstory is his brother being attacked by Stain. His starting belief is that he should be motivated by personal grudges and act for himself. His choice is to intern under a hero closest to Stain's location so that he can go off and fight him alone. The problem is that Stain outclasses him. His solution fails. Deku and Todoroki show up to save the day. Deku's actions change Ida's mind. His new belief is the lesson. His new choice is to work with his friends to beat Stain. In the climax, a team attack delivers them the victory, the positive result. This hits all of the steps and has the same advantages I've been saying. In conclusion, the symbiotic plot is powerful. It combines the three main storytelling pillars to create a plot that has problems and solutions that represent the dynamic between competing beliefs. Most of these examples go the extra mile and bring in the setting pillar to use unique concepts that symbolize the beliefs. Examples are Todoroki's quirk, the opposite powers of Shinigami and Quincy's, and the curse mark in rival villages. The theme is executed through the character development, and the character development represents the theme. The plot represents a combination of the character and theme development. This is top-tier movie-level writing. By the way, what genre are all of these examples from? Let me stop there before people get upset again. Though not as common, this formula can be used in basically any genre if you put in the effort. Writing great stories is like engineering. If you arrange the tools in appealing ways, you can get consistent results. Subscribe for more analytical videos on storytelling.